cause Jehovah built it. You can feel the spirit and positive energy. Questions asked comfortably like you're talking with family. Get ready to settle in. Wait for the show to begin. Invite a couple of friends. It's time for Unhinged.
Introduce to you Get You Home Towing, a family company with the sole purpose to get you home. Whether you need roadside assistance or transport services, we have a flatbed big enough to transport any vehicle to its destination. Our offer to you is our gratitude and great service at a much cheaper price. We are also open to transport through long distances. If you need us, all you have to do is call that number. I'll see you soon.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. What is really going on? Listen, we are excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for another episode of our Unhinged Live. And we've got a special guest that is joining us today. We're super excited about all that has happened. We have been outside. We've been doing all of the things. What do we call the most? You know, we outside. So super excited that we get to connect again and you all are joining us. Thank you so much for our replay viewers that maybe couldn't get us live and direct, but I promise you this Joy Tsunami is going to be something else on the docket. And so we're super excited. I see Tilted has entered the building. Super excited. And I said it tonight. I'm going to say it often. That's why it's two of us, because, you know, we'll be outside and we're doing so many different things, but excited about the opportunity to come again. We've had a couple of things. So we're going to get into the show rundown. I'm going to, but before we get into that, you know, we just do our check-in. And so I got to check in with my sister because we done had a weekend. We had a weekend, a whirlwind of a weekend. So, Tilted, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, I'm trying to adjust to this sudden cold snap here in the northeastern region of this good here, US of A. It's a little chilly, and I know you notice I got a little Christmas on my chest. Please don't judge me, but these are my Unhinged pajamas, and they are warm like that. And the goal as an empress at this point in my life is to stay warm. I'm not trying to catch no cold in my bones because that hurts. I'm sure you don't disagree with that, Karen. But other than that, as you said, I'm actually recovering from our whirlwind weekend. You know, it was great to see you and be able to put my arms around your neck, Karen, as you were able to drive on up. And you arrived safely to walk the runway with us at Napa. That's right, y'all. Let me tell you the scoop. You know how I have a natural tendency of making sure all of the people around me feel that like their most beautiful selves, right? Well, see what happened was I've been telling Karen she belongs everywhere she stands. And, you know, she's a leader in her industry, her profession, and she's known globally for the work she's done in education and in finance and resource development, all of the things. But she's beautiful, y'all. Karen is bad. And this weekend, we got to witness Karen Sims Harrell make her runway debut rocking Lawson's accessories at Northeast Pennsylvania Fashion Week. Yes, I gotta brag on you, girl. I gotta brag on you. Look good. You looked good, sister. And I just want to say thank you for always holding it down when I cannot clone myself. Listen, everybody needs a Karen. I have a Karen who I can toss the mic to and walk away and trust that the vision will continue to move forward with excellence. And Karen, let me go ahead and give you some more flowers while you can smell them. You did that thing excellently with the dress on the red carpet, the red carpet interviews, the warmth you extended to every person you were able to talk to. Girl, I saw somebody come back as you were trying to walk away and ask you if you were still conducting interviews. And all I could do was this. That's my best friend. Karen, just thank you for the sacrifice of road time. Let's talk about that. I know how long it takes for you to drive. And again, we some empresses now, some queenagers, and it takes a different toll on our bodies. So thank you for your financial sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice of time, talent, and even being an investor here at Tilted Halo Broadcast Media Entertainment. It means the world to me to know that my best friend believes in the vision that we're bringing to pass here at Unhinged Live. I celebrate you, girl. You the super fan shout out. See, I had just did that.
And listen, I'm appreciative of that, and I'm being silent just to say thank you, right? Because many of us, as just women, we don't always accept the compliments, right? It's like, oh, I want to give it back. I want to give it back. Now I'm gonna give a little bit back, but I'm ingesting that in these days for me, because I just had a ball, right? You know, I'm an encourager. So I had a room full of folks who was worried about high heels and low heels, and is the dress or is it going to zip up, and you know what I look like. I had two assignments, and I'm so grateful that I was able to show up, being an encourager to our tribe mate Jackie, as she ripped the runway for her first time, right? And got to just fan and shout out and encourage her. Although she didn't need that much encouragement, because honey, once that first toe, the toe, once that toe hit that runway, it was all over after that. I said, oh, I see you, girl. All right. And so I got to give a shout out to Alaji, to Sari Melody, Alaji Daquan and Sari Melody for such an amazing event. We were at NEPA Fashion Week. That is the Northeastern PA Fashion Week event. And Tilton and I were recipients of awards last year. And I promise you, I had the opportunity just to pour into the founders, right? Because it takes a lot when you're putting on any event. I don't care if you got 5 people knocking on your door for whatever it is, but they had a sold out event where they were honoring people for what it is that they do, right? So wasn't it just a different type of setup where they got to select who they were going to honor. They got to give the folks their flowers, right? And also kind of there's something that changes. And I said that to Sari as being a recipient that I didn't even know I was going to be a recipient, right? When we came up there last year, we were just doing what we do. It's Unhinged Live. The tribe was in the building. We were doing what we do. But to get that award, I needed to pour something back into both Alaji and Sari so that they understand how important it is when you celebrate people who maybe some have been celebrated, but others may not have been, when they get that understanding. And it was not hard for me to be fly, right? As we rocked the outfits, the designs made by Shelby Lawson, our own tribe mate of Lawson Accessories. And honey, she had us looking fine in all of our green and decked out. And thanks to Jackie, who got me snatched back in that corset. That's all we're gonna say. Shenanigans was on high, because I said, listen, I'll wear this, but Shelby, she kind of stapled me into that corset the last time. So who gonna be in charge of snatching me back? And so shout out to Jackie, and I think it was Marisol as well, who was helping out with making sure that all of the things stayed where they needed, and that there were no wardrobe malfunctions for our ripped down the runway. So super excited about that. We got so many things to get into. If you don't see us, or you do see us, one of the things is that it's very super exciting just to see the excitement of other people, right? They know that the love is real, and then they share it right back. And I just appreciate the fact that love was in that room. Love was all through that building. And that the shenanigans were orchestrated. Can I say that part? Like it wasn't a lot of whole bunch of extra drama. We got to come in, do what we needed to do, and share space. So love that. Thank you so much for always sharing opportunities for us to just do what we do so well. Like, yeah, that part. All right.
That part.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna get in a little bit of I'm driving a little bit. We might have some co-piloting going on here, but we already did the super fan shout out, right? The show rundown. You know, we've got a special guest, and then we're gonna get into some what's really going on and kind of continue some of the conversations that we've been having. But we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. You know, you're gonna get reflections of purpose, and then we're gonna end out with our just be. So now that you know, right? Buckle up, Buttercup. Here we go. Super excited, Tilted, that we get the opportunity to welcome my guest tonight, right? Because y'all know I've been gallivanting literally worldwide. And so I got the opportunity to meet our guests at a trip that I just took supporting Mr. Harold. Y'all know him as my husband. That's his entire name, my husband. That is his entire name. And so he was one of the feature authors at the National Black Book Festival that was held earlier a couple of weeks ago in Houston, Texas. And so I got the opportunity to meet our guests. And Tilted, if you are okay, because you mentioned that it is kind of cold outside, I'd love to just bring her in.
So go ahead and let her in.
We're going to let
that for you.
It's cold outside. I appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Oh, no
Welcome, Meghan.
Hi.
So excited to see you again. And so as I was mentioning, Meghan, we had the opportunity to meet each other in Houston, you know, amongst so much excitement with authors and just so many industry folks that really got into it. And I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody. Now, that was a playground for my husband. Those who know him know he yapped more than me. I promise. It's like, save yourself. Keep going. Save yourself. But I got the chance to make an introduction with you, Meghan. And, you know, we started talking just a little bit about your authorship, your book. And so I'd like, if you wouldn't mind, Meghan, as we welcome you, hopefully you do feel welcome. Just share a little bit with our audience about who you are, a little bit about your background. And we're going to get into the book and all of the work and things that you did, but sort of a origin story. Who is Meghan?
Okay. All right, so I am Meghan Ashley. Ashley is my last name. People always get hung up on that, but Ashley is my last name. I'm a licensed professional counselor supervisor in Texas, and my specialty is working with Black women and autistic adults, and then the intersection of Black women and autistic adults, which were often left out of the conversation. And so I really put a spotlight there for us to be recognized and for us to get exactly what it is that we need. And I say us as a Black woman and as an autistic adult. And I'm a mother of 2 autistic children as well. I'm an advocate. I wrote the book Blueprint to Behavior because I was looking for a book on how to parent my autistic children specifically, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and none of them were giving me the practical advice that I needed. I needed step 1 through 6. I needed this, and this. Do this, then that. And if they do this, then do that. I needed some practical stuff because as an autistic person, we need practical things. The vague doesn't work for us. And I found a lot of the books were very cerebral and they were very vague, and it just wasn't giving what it needed to give. So in my mind, if I'm looking for something and I can't find it, that means it's mine to write. And then I need to be one that brings it forth. And so that's exactly how this book came about.
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you so much for, you know, sharing your personal testimony, you know, and how this came, because, you know, one of the things that I think is happens very often is there is frustration that comes, right? Not everybody will say, well, then I'm gonna write it if it's not there. And so I imagine that your writing this has also been giving a lot of families a sigh of relief to be like, yes, finally, right? Yes. Some writing that is not only practical and to the point, but that it's something that can help families in the right now, you know? So
Yes,
I know a
absolutely.
lot of the studies might be different, but can you talk to a little bit about the reaction that you've had with your book as you're sharing it with families?
Yeah, the reactions have been amazing and heartwarming, and makes me feel like I'm right on track for what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I'm right on the path that I'm supposed to be on. Because just like you said, a lot of times people are just like, I've been looking for it. I just needed some practical information and advice. I needed something that I could use today, not something that I have to wait months in the future until I go see this therapist and that person. And a lot of times on with autism, especially, the waiting lists are years long, and that's years with an S at the end, like 2 to 3 years on a waiting list for a professional for you to be seen for a lot of different things, and we can't wait.
Definitely feel you on that one, and
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine as a mom, you know, one of the things I know, the subtitle of your book, you mentioned adapting to autism in your family by
Yes.
understanding behaviors. Can you talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about how your personal experience and your research kind of poured into the writing of this book?
Yeah, absolutely. So I always tell people that a meltdown is communication lost in frustration. A lot of times when our kids are talking to us, it's not going to be verbal, not just because they're autistic, but any child, especially when they're younger, if they don't have the vocabulary to tell you what it is they need, they're going to cry, they're going to scream, they're going to throw stuff, they're going to cut up, they're going to run around. It's all communication. And so I tell people, especially in this book, you need to learn to listen to them in the way that they're talking to you. I know you want it to be English. I know you want them to tell you, Mommy, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted and I need to sleep. I know you want that. But what they're going to do instead is they're going to kick their brother and they're going to lay on the floor and cry. And you need to be able to interpret that, because as the parent, it is your job to give them language. It's your job to give them a way to communicate. We can't always expect them to learn our language if we're not willing to learn theirs. And so that comes into play really with autistic children too, because autism as a neurotype, it comes with communication differences. It means that the way that we take in the information from the world, the way we synthesize it is different. I have an autistic brain and an autistic body, and therefore things are going to be different. If you don't learn how to listen to me, you can't know me. And if you can't know me, then you can't help me. And that's a lot of times we see with autistic kids is they don't trust their parents to know what to do, so they're just going to do it on their own. Because if you're not going to listen to me, I'm still going to get my needs met, period, in the sentence. And so a lot of people see that with autistic children as resistance. They're being resistant or they're being defiant. And it's like, no, they're just saying you're not good enough at what you're doing to help me, so I'm just going to go do it myself.
Wow. That's, you know, one, Megan, I am mother to 5 grown children,
Mm-hmm.
Mimi / grandma to 11 children. And I
Wow.
promise you, it's been, because all that running around, you just described my entire weekend with my grandkids. But it was interesting because, you know, after talking to you, one of the questions that sort of came up at my first time spending time again with my grandchildren,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it ain't my job to parent them anymore. However,
Mm-hmm.
right? One of the things that came to my mind was, I want to say, the lack of tools that I had with my children that might also affect them parenting their own children, you know. And I
Yeah.
know the evaluations for children and whether autism is actually diagnosed comes at different times, right? But as you mentioned, communication style, right? I'm from the era, sit down somewhere, right? I'm not
Yep. Mm-hmm.
caring about what
And
you're
the child's
feeling.
place, you need to be seen and not heard. Yeah, all of that goes into play when it comes to diagnosing too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I wonder, you know, what are your thoughts on helping? Because I'm smarter now, right? Like my
Mm-hmm.
kids, like, who is this woman? Like, she didn't care nothing about our feelings. Now she care about the grandkids' feelings. But I just know more about parenting now, right? From being able to meet folks like you, being able to have resources like your book provides to make us just more informed on how should we be talking to our kids. So my kids are just like, I don't know who this alien woman is. You know, what are you feeling? You know, let's talk about your feelings. So I'm curious as kind of the next, I don't know, generation out. What have you found as far as sharing of resources with, whether it's grandparents? Because I know some folks my age, they still, God bless y'all still out here birthing babies. That is not my testimony. But wondering, you know, how you bridge that informational gap for that next generation that might still be parents, but some of us are often in sort of like that grandparent role as well.
Yeah. And I think the grandparent role is so vitally important in our community because we're still villagers, right? Like, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. You may not be that main parent person, but you're definitely in that child's village and you're valued and you're important and needed as well. So when it comes to having that bridge going from a more authoritative parenting style where it's like, you finna do what I told you to, whatever's on that plate, you finna eat it. Oh, you depressed, you finna go depress them dishes. Like coming from that, you know, like coming from that, because I'm black from the South. I'm from Houston, Texas. It's yeah, you can hunt, you can hear, you can lean, you can clean. It's all of it, right? All of the isms. And so with that, having to now shift to a more gentler parenting style because our kids know. Like my children at their school, they had this song that they learned last year that had me crying laughing. It's called It's a Boundary. And it talks about their body boundaries. No, stop. I don't like that. I feel uncomfortable. Please move back. Talking about how they feel about their boundaries. Now, you know, 30, 40 years ago, there ain't no way you would tell a grown person, I'm sorry, I do not want to hug. I'm uncomfortable. Please move back. And I love that they're learning this because it is something that we should have had access to this whole time. So a lot of times when I'm talking to parents and grandparents, it's like, you don't have to give them the hard time that you had just because you had it. Understand that in 2025, we have different tools. And who would you be to not use those tools for that child? We need to be their first safe space. The world is hard enough. The world is going to kick their butt anyway. Why would you help it? Why would you help it? So come here and get some of these tools, learn some of these things, and understand how to listen to your child's feelings and not take it personally. Because a lot of parents do that too. They'll be like, we're running late. We had to get to school and they want to put their shoes on slow. Ma'am, they're not trying to inconvenience you. They don't care if you're going to get a demerit at work. That is not their business. They're just trying to get their shoes on. And you trying to rush them. And then you get upset with the child like they're trying to sabotage your day. That child can give 2 entire flips about your day. They do not care. They just want their Mickey Mouse shoes on so they can go walk into kindergarten. That's all they want to do. And a lot of times parents respond to what they think the child is doing versus responding to what the child is actually doing. So while little boo-boo is trying to get her shoes on, her little Mickey Mouse shoes on so that she could go, you could have stopped for a second and paid attention to the fact that her sock is twisted and it's bothering her, and you could have fixed her socks, fixed her shoe, and went out the door in that same time period where you yelling at her about her making you late. So if you pause for just a second, take care of her needs, listen to what her behavior is telling you, everybody gets helped. So parents, it is their responsibility, grandparents, community members, it is their responsibility to make an environment for the child in which they can thrive. That's not the child's responsibility to thrive in an environment that wasn't built for them in the first place. And we talk about that a lot with autistic kids because the world that we live in was not built with my neurotype in mind. It was not built for autistic people. It was built for allistic or neurotypical people. That's what we call people who are without autism. It was built with other people in mind. And so in order for me to thrive, I have to have my accommodations around me. And my support people need to understand that. It needs to not be an issue.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tilted, I'm gonna pass the mic, see if there's any questions or comments, because I saw a little movement in there, and while Megan was talking, as if you had an amen moment there.
I did. Since Girl Talk Now started hooking me up, you're gonna make sure advertising,
Right.
Yes. I'm just sitting back enjoying the conversation because, as we shared in the pre-show conversation, Megan, spent 20 years loving on babies in this very specific environment, and I went here with it because you are absolutely correct. You have to learn how to interpret the autistic person, the autistic child, as well as the autistic adult, because they will give you smoke signals, so to speak. Say, for instance, in my job, I got to learn hands-on what to do and what not to do. And it's everything that you've already said and solidified so far in this conversation, to the point where I implemented some of those practices in how I reared my own children who didn't have any particular neural diagnosis. I didn't yell. I spoke gently. And every now and again, I feel like it kind of bit me in my behind. But what it did do, it allowed me to preserve the softness in the young women that I was raising, so that they would have that soft and pink space to retreat to as they continue sojourning through life. So you mentioned the toolkit, and developing some type of plan when loving on your autistic person, and self-care plans for the whole family and interventions at home. I understand that you discussed this in your book. What are the practical tools or strategies from the book that families can implement this week?
First and foremost, noise cancellation technology. And I say that because most autistic people are sound sensitive. And you see people will frown their eyebrow, sound sensitive, but he's the loudest person in my house. You're right. That is the person who is making the noise is fine with the noise. They're not fine with you making the noise. So that has something to do with what autism is. Again, as a neurotype, it is your emotional regulation, your communication, and then first and foremost, it's the way that you experience sensory information. So if we're thinking about all 5 of your senses, we're thinking about sight, taste, touch, smell. I feel like I'm missing one. Hearing, sounds and stuff like that. We're talking about all 5 of your senses. If you can help somebody feel comfortable within all 5 of their senses, then you can already kind of reduce some of that extrasensory environment that's causing them to feel uncomfortable. So noise cancellation tech is usually number 1 with the bullet that I tell families to do. And whether that's over the ear headphones, if your kid is okay with that, cool. If not, then they have what's called loops or vibes, and those are earplugs. And so they're not electronic. You're not hooking them up to a phone or anything, but they have this noise cancellation technology to where they can hear people who are talking to them, but all the background noise is dampened. And the background noise is the thing that usually bothers us the most, because the way our autistic bodies are set up is that I hear foreground noise and background noise at the same intensity. So if I'm in the middle of a mall, imagine being in the middle of a mall, right? Back in the 90s when the malls were popping. It was people everywhere. It's music coming in and out. Let's say it's the mall during Christmas time. It's December 24th. The night of December 24th in the mall, y'all remember that it would just be chaotic. And so we've got these bright lights going, right? Because it's all fluorescent lights. It's all brightness. We got these bright lights going. We've got people talking to each other. We've got the music going. We've got people yelling, hey, come get a Cinnabon, and hey, come do this. We have all of this stuff, and it's all coming into my body at the same intensity. All of it. So then you see an autistic person melt down. Then by meltdown, it means I can't handle this. It's entirely too much. And so that's what it feels like sometimes. And I'll use the holidays as an example. When you walk into auntie, grandma, uncle's house and everybody's like, hey, and the kid backs away. Because it's whoa, it's a little bit too much all at once. You heard all the things come at once. All the hugs come at once, especially if you're touch sensitive too. So what I tell parents, especially when it comes to the holidays, is take the toolkits with you that you're going to need for your child. You know your baby, and if you don't, read the book. Okay, because then you got to get to know your baby, right? Because that's your responsibility as a parent. They didn't ask to be here. So learn your baby, have their toolkit ready. If we're going, let's say, to Thanksgiving at my aunt's house, and I have my 2 autistic kids, my kids are 9 and 11 now, so they have their own toolkits that they can carry themselves. But as a parent, I'm still going to make sure that they're refilled and they have what they need. They're not going to eat turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce and yams That's not gonna happen. I'm also not gonna sit up there and make them eat that when I know that that's not what they would want. So they're either gonna have their pizza before we leave, and then they'll be able to take snacks with them, so that they'll be satiated and they'll be fine while we're there. That is not a battle I want to pick on Thanksgiving of what you finna eat, because no, there are more important things to deal with. So then they get to be full and happy and go play with their cousins without it having to be a push-pull battle over what it is you're going to eat. So in their toolkit would be some non-perishable snacks that I know that they like, certain chips and certain, they like dry cereal and things like that. It would be noise cancellation tech, because it's going to be, the game is going to be on, and it's going to be uncles, yelling domino. It's going to be like all of that happening. And so if they have on their noise cancellation tech, then they can hear their cousin talking to them about Pokemon and not everything else being too much, right? And so then also we'll have a hat probably in the bag, because the lights will be bright. And if the lights are too bright and it's bothering you, then a hat with a brim can help kind of block that out. I choose shades. So whenever I'm like not at work, I have shades on. Even if I'm in the living room with my family and somebody decides to turn on what we call the big light, in most autistic houses, you don't use the big light. The big light is the devil, where you flip the switch and it's just bright everywhere. You have lamps, because we need lower lighting. So if somebody mess around and turn on the big light, I already have my shades on, because otherwise it's going to cause me dysregulation. So if I'm at Thanksgiving, I'll probably have my shades on, but my oldest will probably have a hat. My family understands that my kids are autistic, and you're not going to tell them, take your hat off at the dinner table, because if you want him to be here, he is doing his best. You cannot require him to be here without the tools he needs in order to be here. That's not fair.
I love that. I love that. And it sounds like you have been very intentional in being an advocate for yourself and your children, right? Your entire family. Because, I'm thinking about all of the things. I just love talking to us. That's all I'm gonna say. Real people, right? Because we know somebody gonna say, "Take that head off," and do so.
Of course.
How do you encourage folks who are at the beginning journey of these conversations with their families, right? And not to say that it's going to be difficult for everybody, because if they come into Mimi house, Mimi already know what the deal is. So say something to my babies if you never mind. Say something to my babies if you want to.
Yes. You can do whatever you want to do about that. Yeah. And so what I would tell people is, especially in Black families, we're all, that baby ain't autistic, he just a little touch. Like, we'll say some of anything. That baby ain't autistic, you just gotta whoop him more. Like, we get it all, right? And thankfully, like you're saying, with you being Mimi now, we do have parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles in our families that do understand more. And that, I think, is wonderful. It's beautiful. We're moving towards the direction that we should be, which is inclusivity. It doesn't matter what they got going on. Let them come. Let them be themselves. I'm loving that that's happening, and I'm able to watch it in real time. I think that is absolutely fantastic. Are we all there? No. And so for the people who aren't, in my family and in other families that I've coached, what I say is you're going to have to do some pruning. At the beginning, when you get the diagnosis, everybody can't go with you. It can't be a situation where you're trying so hard to change somebody's mind who is committed to misunderstanding you, who is committed to their own thought process about your child and does not want to hear what you have to say, or especially what your child has to say. They can't go with you. So if that means that you go to the family function, and as soon as Aunt Francine starts to go in about your baby wearing a head at the table, Aunt Francine, what we're not going to do is that. Okay? All right? So we're going to be here and we're going to be just fine. But what we're not going to do is that. Thank you. And that's it. And if you don't want to be there, you can go. It's fine.
I love that. And Tilted, I knew that you would love this conversation, but it also put me in mind of how many conversations that now Meghan Tilted is my best friend, right? And so we're seeing each other raise kids through good, bad, and ugly. That's what we're going to say. But I know, Tilted, that you've always been intentional about kind of, and not just on a behavioral side, but making spaces for your family to know that, like, we don't have to always follow the status quo. And that's something that always just kind of stuck with me. I don't know why I'm like really laser focused on this. So Tilda, can you talk a little bit about why it was important for you to set those boundaries and standards? Because I feel like it would be an encouragement to folks trying to figure out how to navigate families during this time of year. Woo, child.
Oh, for me, and why it was important to do those things, establish boundaries and make sure that my children knew that wherever they were with me, they were absolutely protected and in a safe space, that mommy had no problem being the voice for them when they didn't have their own words. Yes. It was always been very important to me because I never wanted to raise my children to be carbon copies of myself. I wanted Kim to be Kim. And I wanted LJ to be LJ and thrive in their own uniqueness, in their own gifts. And again, you know, my years working in special education helped me understand the behavior modification module, and understanding that everybody in every single walk of life has their own individual needs, and what they required to be watered with to be successful in life. So my children, and I'll use LJ as the example. I noticed that she was your typical kid who liked to write on the walls. And, you know, we always hear stories, and, you know, even Clorox and Magic Eraser, Mr. Clean Them, they have the commercials promoting their products using the examples of children writing on the walls and how you can magic clean it off. Well, I decided not to clean my daughter's art off the wall because I recognize in the middle of what some might call chicken scratches, I could see images of things from her lens, and I could see people, and I saw how she was able to express herself through her optical lens and just put it on the wall. So instead of making my child feel, you know, terrible for expressing her creativity, I let her draw and write whatever she wanted on that large wall in the back of her closet. That was her safe space, because observing her growing up, I noticed that she's an introvert, very introverted child. A lot of people would be like, oh my goodness, there's something wrong with it. There ain't nothing wrong with her. She's smarter than you, 54-year-old person minding business that ain't your own. But allow me to digress. This little girl would go into that closet and spend hours creating such detail, to the point where now in her adult life and in my mommy life, the only art hanging in my parlor area is something that she painted and created. And throughout her educational process, I was able to foster that particular gift of creativity in her. I made sure she was in that art class when she wanted to be in there. And then I made sure she was supported when she decided to sing and understand her voice creatively. I just made space for LJ to be LJ. In the same way with Kim. Kim had a musical gift and still has a musical gift that blows my mind. So from the time she was young, I fought tooth and nail. I was the parent dragging my baby back and forth to auditions with different choirs. And I made sure her educational process included the creative arts. She learned to play the cello, string instrument, which allowed her to be able to teach herself 3 more instruments. Also a great vocalist, very talented writer. Check out Mizzy, M-I-Z-Z-I, on SoundCloud, y'all. She got some music out there. Both of my babies are gifted because I recognize that they were individual people. Again, like I said before, not carbon copies of me. Pieces of my heart on the outside of my body, yes. But I decided to cultivate in them what nobody really particularly cultivated in me, so to speak, from the beginning of their lives, from the moment they took a breath and their first step, so that they would know that it was okay for them to blaze their own trail, much like their mother.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. You saw them.
Yeah. Yeah, and Megan, that puts the question to me because you shared your own lived experience as well, and I know this book has been one way for you to hopefully also be seen. But what advice or direction might you give to other, whether adults or preteen, teen children, those folks might be experiencing some of the things that you have had to experience in your personal history?
Yeah, I would advise people again, community is so important. So finding other community members, especially Black autistics. And one place that people don't think about for community is social media. And so I know TikTok can be the devil sometimes. I get it. But one thing I like about TikTok is that it's lived experiences. People can get on there and talk about what their day was like, what it is like to live in my autistic brain and my autistic body, what it's like to be a Black woman, what it's like to be a mom, what it's like to be all of these things. Sometimes community isn't even you having a conversation with people. It's you not feeling alone. It's you seeing yourself in somebody else. And so I would say that, especially if you're like, what's going on? Why can't I just this? Why can't I just have habits that continue? Why can't I be consistent? Why can't I do this like my brother, sister, mama, auntie, cousin can? Well, there's a reason that you can't. And it's not because you're broken. And it's not because you're wrong. It's because you're you and you just have to figure out a different way. And so seeing other people on platforms who are thriving, it's fantastic. But seeing people who are struggling is important too, because a lot of times we just need to struggle together. Like we just need to sit and be like, I'm going through it also, just so that people won't feel so alone. And I love social media for that reason, is because people can witness other people's struggle and their strengths and look at it from a holistic lens. Because yeah, I'm autistic and my autism gives me all kinds of really cool things that I'm able to do, but it also gives me struggles, and it is a disability. But it's not a disability because there's something wrong with me. It's a disability because my environment is disabling. And so therefore, people need to see that. They need to understand that. And so I did a TED Talk in 2024 about being an autistic adult. And it's on YouTube. You can look up my name, Meghan Ashley TED Talk. And you can look at it, and it's called What Autistic Adults Want You to Know. And it's about walking people through what it feels like on an everyday basis to be an autistic adult, so that people can put themselves in our shoes so they can understand better. It hasn't been talked about enough for multiple reasons, because for the longest time, autism was just a diagnosis for little white boys. Everybody else was left out of the conversation. But now you're seeing other people who look like me, who look like my sons, who look like my clients, who are speaking out as an autistic person and saying, this is what my life looks like. And I think it's so important. I mean, it takes a lot to be able to do that.
I love that. Listen, I don't have time for a to-do list, so I done already looked it up. Duly noted. And I love that, you've expanded your platform, right, to share your voice and give words, and hopefully our listening and viewing audience get some new vocabulary tonight. I know I have definitely heard some things as it's like, yeah, more than a thinking, right? More than a reflection, but being able to have a practical way to communicate the needs for what we see, right? So, as you were mentioning, the different, do I want to say excuses, descriptions, know how our families do. That's all. Yes. And it just was like, part, and I wonder that part of the challenges that were faced as far as us not having the vocabulary is because folks was just like, that's not a us thing, right? Like as autism was a cultural or race thing versus what it actually is. And so I appreciate, even the insight of what you're sharing in reference to autism being a disability, but not because something wrong, because right, that the world around me is disabling. That's a mouthful right there. It's like
it is, and that's what a lot of us as autistic adults, people who I would say escape diagnosis, people who are appearing high functioning, like I have a whole master's degree, right? I still put my shoes on the wrong feet. because my autistic body does not feel when they're different. My husband got to be like, hey, babe, fix your shoes before you go out the house. That's something like, you know, like people talk about Albert Einstein, he was more than likely autistic, smartest person in the world, but will forget to put on pants. Like, that is how a lot of us are, is that we have like these huge things that we can do, and then we have these other struggles that are so vast. Like, me and math are not friends. Like, don't ask me to do my 11-year-old is in 6th grade, and me in 6th grade math have been fighting all year, and I don't want to hear it. Like, it has been a thing. Okay, I can do all kinds of things. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, but math ain't it. Okay, and I have to understand that. And then for other people to see, like, oh, well, she's autistic and she's able to do this, this, and this. True, but I still have struggles. And so a lot of the time what you'll see with autistic adults is, well, I can pay bills, you know, I can live alone, I can drive, I can do all these things. Why do I need to go through and get an autism diagnosis? And you absolutely don't have to go through and get a formal diagnosis if you know, I'm autistic and that's how I feel, that's who I am. I relate to the autistic experience. But I will say a lot of times it's just information so that you can stop beating yourself up. Mm-hmm. So that you can stop saying, why can't I just be like my older brother who's good at socializing? Why can't I have 20 different friends? Why is it that I have 2 that are my besties and that's it? Why can't I do this? Why can't I go here? Why can't I do that? Sometimes it's just information for you to forgive yourself for not being that carbon copy.
I love that.
Because if you're measuring yourself with a yardstick that wasn't meant for you, it's like measuring yourself with a straight yardstick when ours looks like a curly cue. What are you doing? You're always going to come up short.
Right. And then the mental health challenges that comes with that just by itself. So I appreciate you sharing that additional aspect of it, because one, it's important, right? And I know a lot of times when we've heard the diagnosis in certain families, they do take it very hard as if it is an ending of a thing versus a rebirthing, right? Because it should hopefully feel like an opportunity. And if the framework of your book, I think, is super interesting, not just as you talk about the practical areas of it and having the toolkits and what do you need at home versus what you need to travel with, and building of the community, but it is about also rehearsing a different language and mindset around autism. Because I just know, like, in our first meeting, you were like, yes, and I am an adult with autism and ... And I'm like, okay, hold on. Because a lot of people see it as a limitation that cannot be overcome, right? And so what I do know is that takes work.
Yes,
right?
very much so.
It takes self-work. And so can you share just with our audience a little bit about what you have learned about yourself as you've written this book and grown in your kind of self-discovery and discovery for your family on the best way to communicate?
I will say the biggest takeaway that I've had is that whole platitude of giving yourself grace, learning how to actually put that into practice, learning what that actually means. And I use an example about disability. So all 3 of us on this call today have one disability in common: glasses. We need our glasses to be able to see. And so if I want, I can't tell you, look, take your glasses off, just look harder, and you'll be able to see it. Take your glasses off and just squint a little bit. You'll be able to figure it out. We need our tool in order for us to be able to perform like everyone else would. I need my glasses to read. You don't want me to drive without them on, because, baby, it's not going to be pretty, okay? All the curves I'm going to be hitting. That's not going to be okay. So I'm saying that we have this tool that we need to use, and we don't get down on ourselves for having to have glasses. We don't say, oh, if I could just take the glasses off and I'll just see better, I'll just do better. I know I could just power through it. Learning about myself and my autism meant that I understood in the same way I understand that I need my glasses. I need my tools. I'm never going to be like a neurotypical person, and that is not my goal anymore. That's not my goal, is to blend in and to go along to get along. My goal is to be the most authentic version of myself that I can be, And that means that I need my tools in order to do that. My goal is not to appear less autistic. My goal is to live autistically, which is living in my truth, understanding who I am, and embracing my strengths and working through my struggles without being mad that the struggles exist. And I think that that's so important in figuring out who you are, no matter if you're autistic, allistic, whoever, if you got depression, bipolar, anxiety, whatever, you don't have to be upset with yourself once you start accepting who you are. And that's the most important part. Understand that this is part of who you are. Okay, this is me. How am I going to move next? What are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? It's not so much overcoming autism. I wouldn't ever say that. I would say that autism is part of my identity. It's part of who I am. And that's fine. That is absolutely okay.
I love that. I love that. We'll definitely appreciate that. Listen, for our listening audience, we thank you for those who have been in the comment areas. We thank you for those who will watch the replay, and definitely go and check it out. She know how to find herself. I'm gonna tell you that. Meghan Ashley TED Talk. She's gonna be number one on top of the list. You'll see it there. So I'm excited about hearing more about the TED Talk and how it's almost a year. Like,
yes,
that's almost a year ago. How was that experience for you? And can you talk a bit about what were the steps that kind of made that opportunity open up for you?
One of the things that my autism provides for me is the ability to not have no shame, but not really care if somebody's gonna give me a yes or a no, because that's all you're gonna say is yes or no. And so people are like, oh my God, how did you land the TED Talk? Well, I went on the website and put in the application. Like, that was it. Like, you either do it or you don't, right? And so all the opportunities, you know, people get afraid sometimes of like, they get afraid of success as much as they're afraid of failure. They're like, oh no, if I do this, then I have to keep doing that. And I'm just like, all they're going to say is yes or no. So I put in the application. They called and they were like, hey, this is when we're going to be filming. This is the TED process. And you have to go through a whole thing. You have to go to TED school, right? You have to learn how to craft your speech. You have to do all of these things. And then you show up day of and you get to record. And it is one of the coolest experiences I have ever had in my life. I tell people I felt like Oprah. You got your studio audience and stuff, right? And you got all the cameras and the little bitty microphone you got to put on with the pack on the back. It just felt so official. It was so cool. One of the coolest things I've ever done. One of the scariest things I've ever done too, because what people don't tell you about TED is there's no teleprompter. You have to memorize your entire speech word for word because it's already been approved word for word. Ain't no riffing. Ain't no deciding you want to add a new line here or there. You have to memorize your 10-minute speech, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is word for word. And so that was like a lot of pressure to have to do that and have to perform. I did use my accommodations that I needed to in order to get my autistic self through this entire experience. And I was fine. I did it. It's amazing. I love it. It is definitely my love letter to the autism community and to the Black community as well, for people to see someone like me doing what I'm doing on that type of stage.
Amazing. I love the opportunity that we get to celebrate you, that you have joined us this evening to have such a candid conversation. And I know that we have had a ball just getting to know more about you, getting to know more about your book. Is there anything that you might want our audience to know more specific, or some type of portion of the book that you might want to share with our audience that was kind of a fave part for you, or how folks can kind of dive right into the work?
I think it's important, whether you have an autistic child or not, whether you think you know an autistic person or not, because we're everywhere. You probably know somebody who's autistic. They might not know yet, but you probably know somebody who's autistic. I think it's important for us, for inclusivity's sake, for you to read about topics like this, no matter if somebody is autistic or not in your life, because it's going to expand your knowledge of other people's worldviews. And I think it is important, whether you read the book, listen to the TED Talk, listen to the podcast, all of these different ways where you can get information from autistic people, because we're people too. And it's just important for us, especially in the Black community, to embrace the fact that being Black is not a monolith. We're not all the same. We're not all going to think the same, act the same, and thank God that we do not. Because that wouldn't work for us, right? Like, we have this huge range of magic and things that we can do, and it's about understanding other people's experiences. So no matter if you know someone who's autistic or not, you can pick up the book, you can watch the TED Talk, you can listen to the podcast, and you'll be able to hear an autistic Black woman telling you about herself.
Love that, love that, love that. So now, before we exit, looking ahead, what other projects or follow-up work are you planning to extend the message of Blueprint to Behavior?
So I am going to be presenting in person in Florida in April during Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month at the Autism in Black conference. And so it is fantastic. The lady who owns Autism in Black, the CEO, is Maria, and she is amazing. She has created this space for autistic Black people to be and to thrive and to meet and to just learn. And so I'll be speaking at that conference. It'll be my third year speaking at Autism in Black, but this year I'll be doing it in person. So please come out. I'd love to meet people. It's going to be, I believe it's April 18th. Information's on the Autism in Black website. That's what's coming up. Also, I'm working on my second book, and I'll let y'all know when that drops. And yes, you can also get Blueprint to Behavior anywhere that books are sold online. So Amazon.com, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com. But also you can support your local bookseller. Go into your local bookstore, tell them that's what you want to order. They'll order it offline for you so that they can get money too. And that's important as well.
Love it, love it, love it. So now you talked about how folks can connect and get to the book. Is there anything else you want to add as far as people being able to connect with you directly?
Yeah, sure. So I'm always open to emails and messages. If you message me on Instagram, I may not get to it. But if you message me, if you email me, then I will. So you can find me at my website. It's the letter M, perfectconsulting.com. So M as in Megan, mperfectconsulting.com. There you have the contact form. You can message me any questions you have. Don't be shy. I love to answer emails and help people work through whatever they need to work through. I've had people reach out and just say, hey, I know you're not a therapist in my state, but I'm still looking for somebody who has a similar style that you do, and I will get online and I will find you some people. I'll find you some resources. I love finding resources. So reach out and let me know what you need when it comes to therapy, when it comes to being a Black woman, when it comes to being an autistic individual. I'm here. I want to help.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Appreciate your time. Any questions or anything you want to add, Tilted, before we shift the conversation?
Actually, no. First of all, I just want to say thank you again, Ashley, Miss Ashley, Meghan Ashley, to be exact, for joining us on tonight for this wonderful conversation. It is my heart is full seeing a person that looks like me sharing their own personal experience with this super ability. I don't call it a disability. I call it a super ability because you have the ability to create the world around you, which many people do not have. And I hope that was a major takeaway for our listeners who are going to, who are actually listening tonight and who are going to be listening in the future. Thank you for the awesome sacrifice, because it's not always easy trying to balance work, life, and vision. And thank you for sharing your vision and sharing your voice and being a trailblazer in the industry to make sure that people of color know that, hey, there's not necessarily something wrong. You've just got to adapt to something we haven't necessarily had the information for all of our lives. So thank you, especially in this day and age. I think people need to be more compassionate and understanding of others. And even if you, like you said, if you don't know that someone has an autism diagnosis, you might encounter someone who might be displaying the behaviors. So if you're armed with this information, you already know how to, hey, take a step back. They may not be upset with me I mean, what I just said may not have offended them. Their response to me might be simply from how they view and feel the world from where they stand and from their lens perspective. So thank you so much. Imperfectconsulting.com. Autism in Black Conference. Is that correct? Coming up in April. Listen, y'all, if you can and will, go out and support your community. This is our community. And this is yet another big old piece of the twisted threads in the tapestry that God has created for us. If we take a little bit of the paprika from over here and add a little bit of the sazon from over yonder, and maybe a little bit of global, Lord, it sounds like I'm trying to make a pot of high blood pressure, doesn't it? But anyway, we are applying pressure to all of the problems that are arising in our, or not even problems, the difficulties that manifest within our communities. And I'm grateful for you, Meghan, one of the soldiers on the forefront of neurological orders and disorders, so people can know that yes, you can be successful, and yes, you can thrive, and yes, you can publish and do all of the things, much like Miss Meghan. So you are absolutely necessary. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Are you going to be sticking with us for the remainder of the show? Because it's a whole 90 minutes.
Oh wow. I have to go because I gotta grab my kids, but I'm gonna watch it later on. I'm definitely gonna watch the replay so I can grab the rest of it.
We appreciate
your
time.
Always ask because you're always welcome. We don't like to kick people out like Marty Marr. We cordial around these.
It's okay. I feel super welcome. Thank y'all so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today. Yeah, thank you.
For sure. Well, we thank you so much for joining us. We're going to put you back into the virtual green room, and then you can exit from there. We'll connect. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate your passion and your talent and all that you shared with us this evening. Have a good one, Meghan.
Bye.
Thanks. Leah said, a banger. And time was just flying by. Time was just flying by. That's all.
That's when the conversation is easy, like a Sunday morning, or that cool glass of lemonade that you're sipping amongst friends. It bees that way, Karen. You already know what it is here at Unhinged Live. And thank you so much for bringing this gem to the platform. She shared a lot of information and shared a lot of insights specifically on how to deal with people who are different than you are. You know, I'm a huge advocate and actually sit on an anti-stigma committee when it comes to the mental health of others, including myself. So having these conversations creates those safe spaces for people to come into our scope and understand and that they're going to be accepted.
Yes.
Which is the heart of Unhinged Live. We love all the people.
Love all of the peoples, all of
the people. But here's the deal. If you come over here acting unseemly, you know, we got some tools in our toolkit to handle that too.
We do. Yeah.
But our first weapon of choice, of course, is prayer, Karen. We like to pray first.
It is. And we gonna give you that joy tsunami wrapped in love. We're gonna do that first.
We're gonna wrap it in love. Now, we're gonna wrap it in love. But check it out. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit more of this conversation between you and I, Miss Ma'am. It's been a while since it's been just you and I on.
Yes, it has.
And you know, I gotta ask you this question. I'm gonna throw this one at you before you throw it at me. We're gonna talk about I did mention this. Look at how the Lord be segueing through me, and I don't even realize it. I mentioned being easy like Sunday morning. I know when I get up in the mornings, I like for my mornings to flow smoothly and quietly without anyone in my way. And I want it to be me and my cup of Bustelo. So I got to ask you, Karen, what are some of your morning time essentials, some of your must-haves, so that you make sure that you have the day you design for yourself and not the day you necessarily deserve?
Not the day that I designed.
Girl.
Okay. Yeah, that's a mouthful right there. So I'm not really a strict routine person. But I know that my days go better when I start from quiet, right? So waking up, prayer, some praise and worship. If I get something that get me to boogie, then forget about it, because that's all I'm gonna do is boogie. So I try to be specific with, all right, let's be reflective in this moment. My husband is an early riser, so his day normally starts well in advance of mine. But I need him to get out my way when I get to the bathroom, right? I just give me my moments. Love you, mean it. Go over there. And it was funny because my grandchildren were here helping me clean up my office. And they're like, Mimi, how come you have an office separate from Mr. Alfred's office? And I said, because we need our space. We can't, So even though we have togetherness, I think those few moments in the morning, it just is the quiet, right? That be still in no time. Like, Lord, I don't know what you got for me. And I will say this, that if somebody interrupts that, okay, well, I don't really let people interrupt that time. But should they try?
In the event that they do,
Yeah, it's kind of a, what you want? Like, not no good. Like, I have to move into a good morning, right? Like, and no shade to nobody, right? I love the Lord. He heard my cry, all of the things. But what you want? You bothering me early, right? So there are a few who don't get that, because I know that if you're calling first thing in the morning, you're calling with purpose. So then it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a purposeful conversation here, or somebody need prayer, or whatever it is, right? The alignment. Yeah. I want to start the day in quiet. And that's the gift that I give myself, because there were many days where, listen, raising 5 kids, what in the world is quiet?
Okay.
That
I can't blame you. And, I got to tap in and share with you. I enjoy that quiet in the morning as well. Some years ago, I remember having a conversation with my mother, God rest her soul, when she would come and visit me on the weekends. I'd bring her out, she'd stay with us, and I'd take her shopping, and we'd go to church and just have a great time. Mm-hmm. But then Monday morning commute had to happen. And the goal was always make sure I get to work on time. But of course, I got to get mommy home and drop her off with these groceries before I even get to the office. And
right.
Mommy didn't realize that I have a very specific routine when I got in the car. So don't talk to me, because I'm praying while I'm driving. If you know anything about Route 78, traveling 78 eastbound, you know the importance of having prayer in the car. Absolutely. So no, please don't talk to me. And I explained it to her in a loving manner. You can hit me with the good morning, and that's about all you're gonna get until about after 6:30. Because at 6:30, I'm in a safety zone on the highway where I don't necessarily have to be a road commando. Driving for my life. That's what I felt like I was doing all those years, but I was driving for my life. And just that time in the morning where the innovative thought process happened, the dreams and the opportunities that I didn't have the chance to really focus on. I'm driving, and all this time it's in my head. The meditation is where it happened. You were a victim of some of my meditations one year that led me to call you and say, hey, you want to go to New Orleans and see Prince with me?
Yep.
Because I just happened to be listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show, and he had literally just made the announcement that Prince had agreed to be the headliner at Essence Music Fest. And baby, I had to go to that. And I'm so grateful that you know me well enough to know if I'm calling you that early in the morning, it's purposeful.
Hello.
It's purposeful. If I'm calling you, and I tell you that was one experience, and I'm grateful.
Yes.
I stepped out of my silence, because within 2 hours, you have found us a travel company to get us there within a price we were willing to pay. Yeah.
That
So
wasn't
between
even my intention. I promise you. Like when the Lord moves, right? And this takes us to because this is the thing. A lot of people would think like, well, what the Lord got to do with that? Honey, if I'm in it, the Lord has something to do with it. I
He
need
gonna
you.
give me the desires of my heart, and he know I had a secret desire to see Prince live. I'm a uber Prince fan, and any of you who follow me in the Facebook and the Instagram world, you may have noticed that I actually posted a photo of my emotional support Prince that sits on my desk at work, and it reminds me, dearly beloved, we are here to get through this thing called life, but it's a little squishy thing for when the situations get stressful. I have my little Prince motivation to help me get through this thing called life. So in the morning, I like my peaceful time, my Bustelo, and I must have some hazelnut coffee creamer, or it's not going to be a favorable kind of day.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it that way.
I'm
I'll
normally a tea drinker. I'm normally a tea drinker. And fun fact, one of the projects that we had, child, listen, we still was unpacking boxes. So today's boxes were unpacked, and I finally rehung I have a Prince themed piece of artwork that was completed for me by our homie Rashim Kilo Pugh. And I just ain't get back to get it up, right? So I needed to hang that up. And then shout out to one of our other She Tribe family, but also a Prince lover, Leslie. I have a world map that her family gave me when I first made my trek down here to North Carolina. And so that go wherever I go, wherever I'm spending my time. That's where that map is, to remind me my global reach, no matter where I might be sitting, that don't change. So we about Prince over here. So I promise you that was something that
we about that Prince life, dearly beloved.
it never was on my mind that opportunity would present itself. But when your homie call and say, "What you think about that?" I don't. Let's do. And that's
Let's go. We ain't got time to think. What is thinking? There's no
because
thought.
whatever happened, these tickets gonna sell out. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but doggone it, we need a couple of seats. So let's get it.
Yeah. But so Karen, I got to double back. Because something amazing happened to us during the Interstar Trailblazer weekend. Something amazing happened to us as we went in looking fly as ever. Shout out to Lawson Accessories.
Yes.
We managed to shoot a mini documentary.
We did.
Yes, we managed to shoot a mini documentary, and I actually posted it on the Unhinged Live YouTube channel today.
Beautiful.
And if you peruse YouTube or the Tilted Halo Unhinged with Tilted Halo group, and my personal page, I posted it there. And I wanted to bring that to your attention because I was thinking, should I play it on the show tonight? And I see your face. Is your finger just doing the walking?
Not yet, but we're gonna get there because ain't it our show?
Yeah,
so
we can do what we want to do. So yeah, I wanted to share about that because as I was watching the playback of that video, it's just a manifestation of a lot of the vision that you and I have discussed over the years. And this thing literally happened over something I said to you, maybe 2-3 months ago. I want to do a documentary. I don't know. And I didn't realize, as you always tell me, I be speaking stuff into existence, and you just like sitting back watching when it happened. You just be cheesing and grinning. So yeah, we had the opportunity to work with the masterful Afate Annam of Per Annum Media, a very good friend of mine, and many of you who followed us since day one, you might be familiar with Afate because we interviewed him here on the platform. Such a humble soul. He came through and just tapped into the vibe known as the tribe. And he captured some moments of me. Because I never see me outside of myself. So it was very interesting to see me outside of my own lens and then be able to use his creative gifts to share the story of the tribe and how we all came together. Now, I got to tell you, you know, huge shout out to my boo, Marisol, Girl Talk Nails. See that? That's cute. That's fly. That's real fly. That's my celebrity nail tech. That's the only thing I don't, you know, I kind of miss out in this documentary. You didn't really get to hear her voice because she was off on another floor with G, her loving husband. He's also tribe family.
Yes.
Wish we could have caught more footage of them speaking and sharing how we connected. But let me tell you something. I managed to connect with Marisol off the grid at least once a month because I got to go get these nails done. And I'm grateful for Marisol. Here's another super fan shout out. I am grateful for Marisol being in my life because Marisol, both her and G, they security for me. They made sure that I got home. They always make sure that I get home. They always make sure that I am fed. Let me tell you something. I got to put it out there. G made some coquito this year. All I'm going to say is, if you can, get you some.
Listen, go get you some.
Listen, G is nice with it in the kitchen. Let me tell you. G makes some of the best flan I've ever had in my life.
Beautiful.
So I gotta big them up because, you know, Marisol's got some great things ahead of her, like many of us do, and I'm grateful for her heart and the grace, her graciousness, and how she shares with the rest of us, and she makes sure, much like myself, that whatever she doing, we doing, and vice versa. We in this thing together. We are in this for life. We are a tribe of creatives, and I'm just so grateful. My heart is full. My heart is full. Just reflecting on the journey to In a Star and how this whole thing was birthed, and really understanding where I stand at this point in the journey, that nothing is wasted. If God allows you to it, he's gonna bring you through it. And you know, y'all, we love the Lord over here. You know, you're gonna hear us say Jesus, you're gonna hear us say God. I call him Abba because, you know, God is my father. When there's no one else I can talk to, I look up and have conversations, and I'm grateful that it's an active dialogue because I'm not always the only one speaking. I can hear and get the messages I need to keep propelling us forward here at the platform. So get ready, y'all, in the listening audience. You ready to push play? You look like you about to.
I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready. You know, I got to shout out my brother G because that's my cut-up partner. And, you know, Marisol, she be like, no, not with Coach Cash. You know, she be trying to make sure that we acting right. But I tell her, that's my dude right there. What are we doing? So I'm thankful for his care, you know, and he really, even this weekend at Napa, he was like, okay, Karen, like, but you can stay up here. I was like, no, I got to get down because he's like, I don't know about that. And I literally tell my husband, and my husband is like, well, I agree with him. You need to stay yourself somewhere. And I was like, well, too late. I'm already down the mountain now. So, you know, y'all coordinate between yourselves. But I'm grateful for the opportunity because, as you mentioned, you know the conversations, and you know that I know the side conversations of you not always seeing yourself, but you are always grinding, right? Always pushing forward, strategic and intentional with the relationships that you have. But this was definitely an opportunity for all of those things to culminate all together on a night where others may have thought we missed an opportunity, right? This the word, right? And then we're going to get into what it actually was. Because by all intents and purposes, we were supposed to be somewhere else, but we didn't miss a thing, right? Because we came already equipped. And even this last weekend, we heard that the favor that was extended to us may not have been the experience of everybody that we know. There's something to be said to that, but y'all know how much I love this part. This me DJing in a different way. So, you know, I'm gonna let this do what it need to do. And this is the Tilted Halo mini documentary. And we say mini because Hunty, there's so much more to come. Here we go. I'm setting it up. Here we go.
She came to see me. During the pandemic, when the world was shut down and hugging was illegal, she hugged me to life. She hugged me to life and freed me to grieve. She freed me to grieve. And in that moment, I realized that it was God. It's always God. I tried to miss you.
There we go.
You're going to learn today. Thank you.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I'm with the logic tonight. I mean to. So, right. Now, Shelby, I found an iron, but it's
You can save the tears for later.
yes. My love to hear nominated for the show. Yes, shoes.
Oh, that's your thing.
Yeah, that's my kid. As he always is. Now you know what he says.
You are amazing.
That's God, baby.
And God put me in the right circle of women, and it's growth, empowerment, and love, and joy. And you bring all that. And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Don't make me
you.
cry. We ain't
I know
trying to-
I know I'm not supposed to make you cry because all kind of things was going through my head this morning, and I'm like grateful. That's the one word.
That's it.
I can sum it up. That's grateful. Jackie, where are you going? Grateful. Grateful. And I'm so happy. We're gonna do it today.
I'm just a conduit. That's all.
You say that all the time. You
I'm
say
just
that
a
all the time.
conduit.
You
That's
say
all.
that all the time. You say that all the time. But I'm truly blessed coming from
Don't
where
make me cry.
I came from. I told you that. To be here amongst all these people.
Do you want to share some of your story, Mom?
Yeah, I can share
Look at the
some.
camera and share.
I am a survivor. I was addicted to opioids. I can't count how many times in my hand I've tried suicide. I have suicidal tendencies, and I'm a mental health coach because of that. I study psychology because of that. And through education and experiences, I'm a better person today. I'm not broken, I'm becoming.
Yeah.
God, thank you.
And God just gave me eyes to see her, the strength of her spirit, and I knew I needed to connect with her.
Yeah,
And she is now one of my best friends.
a sister to me, like a sister.
Pretty much.
Because we can't go through the day without each other.
We get our people. We work together, and they sick of us when I come in her office because I care to none
None.
about the people.
She comes right in. How you doing today? How
You
you
good?
doing?
You straight?
Good?
How your
Yes.
foot doing? You good?
Yeah.
Did you eat?
Yeah. Just like that.
Because she'll keep
Just
working
like
and she
that.
won't eat.
Just like that. I'll walk away, even to walk away. She comes and makes sure that I walk away and get that break. Because I used to do it to her and now she's doing it to me. So part of growing is seeing when other people tell you you need to do what you're supposed to do because you know what you're supposed to do, but you just don't do it. But for other people to see that and encourage you, that's people that you need to keep around you. I love you too. Mwah.
Mwah. Mwah. You already know it's your girl Keita Tilted Halo. This is my sister Jackie. And that's how we just refer to her so lovingly, Jackie. And we too have a story. So Jackie, you want to tell our story?
Well, our story is that we actually have the same father, and we did not get a chance to grow up together. And our father unfortunately passed away in 2017, December 2017.
Yeah.
And you graciously reached out to me. You said she found out that her dad passed away. She said, I gotta find my sister. And she reached out to me, and I was not ready yet. And I pushed you away.
And I knew it. I knew she was going to be pissed because my searching for her was part of my own healing. I didn't find out our father passed away until 30 days after he had been buried. And it damn near broke me. But I remembered her because we also lost a sister. And Jackie also lost her mother within the same week. So I could only imagine the terror going on in her mind. And I just needed her to know that she wasn't alone. So I listened to God and went searching for her. And then I had to wait for her when she was ready. So when my mother died, she came to see me.
During the pandemic, when the world was shut down and hugging was illegal, she hugged me to life. She hugged me to life and freed me to grieve. She freed me to grieve. And in that moment, I realized that it was God. It's always God. Because only she was strong enough to carry me through that season because of her past experience. So that's our story. Yes, it got me messing up my makeup.
And I'm so grateful that you came looking for me, sis. I mean, you're the best thing that's happened to me.
Amen.
It was double for my trouble. I lost my mom and my dad in the span of a week. And to get you in return,
Yeah.
only God.
And all I was trying to do was heal myself. Going after everything I said I wanted and missed. And as my bestie often reminds me, the instruction is pursue. So I had to go after what I said I wanted.
And here we are.
Okay.
Amen.
Best friend.
Amen.
Oh my God, I done messed up my
You
face.
ladies are just.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Who's that behind you? Who's that person?
That's my best friend. Oh, that's my best friend.
Yeah.
There is a story with all of us. There is a story with all of us. And this one here, my CFO, my girl, get your life together in Jesus' name.
Yes, it'd be nice.
She reminds me to be nice when I flip into production mode. And she prays for me like no one else.
Look, I don't have my glasses on. I had to
So
come
we
back
have
down
a
the
story
street.
as well. Yes. See, one day at choir rehearsal, when I was choir director, I said, you need to be her friend, and I had to be obedient.
All right, guys, are my eyebrows okay? Because I can't see.
You want to tell our story, Karen?
Do I want to tell it? Listen, it's going to be more than a 30-second, but she bum-rushed me and said, I need to know you, and the rest is literally the history and the making of what we have continued to share, grow, love, cry, and chase after destiny. That's what we've been doing.
We had the same dream, so when I launched Tilt to Halo Broadcast Media Entertainment, I called her and said, let's do this together to keep each other accountable to pursuing our dream.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
Oh, you ladies are nice here. Group hug.
Oh my God.
This is my ministry.
I love it. Sharing.
Designer.
Now wait, we got one more for you. You ready? We got a story too. The incomparable Shelby Lawson of Lawson Accessories. She is multifaceted like Clairol, and we attend, of course, and just like Karen and I, we attend the same faith community. And God had given me a vision because I was going through a broke season of my life, and I had to remember I knew how to crochet.
Yeah.
So I started to crochet hats and scarves and selling them to make extra money. I've just gone through a divorce. And then I said, when God said, call the church, you need to start a crochet ministry, because we had a homeless shelter initiative. So I called the church,
And Pastor Jason, he said, y'all can do it. That's what Pastor Phil had put out a call for socks and scarves and hats for the homeless. And I said, there's enough creatives in our church community that we don't have to go out and buy socks and scarves. We could crochet or knit those things. So we had a great season in doing that. It was very fulfilling, and we were very blessed by it. And we love to eat breakfast. So that's how we really met. We red sausage. But we've had a good journey. Yes, we have. So we started together, praying and crocheting, teaching and slaying,
all of it.
So then all of a sudden she snatched me up to be one of her models.
That's right. That is right. we have quite a journey. So we've been doing. I hit it again. We've been doing it. We've been doing it for years now, and it's just a blessing to have a group of sisters who are very supportive and loving and correcting and all of those things. So
yep, we got each other.
We got each other.
All right now.
Oh, this is just so nice.
Listen, all of our tribe family was out. We just love that we had the opportunity to share. Shout out to Afate. Thank you so much for the excellence in which you came around, and hopefully more doors will open for you as folks are able to see just the quality that you brought. We listen, I'm over here just shout out to little friend. We love you, girl.
Little friend. We gotta get her a shirt that say Unhinged Live Little Friend.
Little friend. We got a little friend. So shout out to
all the videos.
All of the things, Big Les, we love you, girl. Felicia, so great to see you in the video. Just so many faces, I promise. You know, when we all get together as creatives, it's always a beautiful time. But to be able to document, right, the stories, the journeys, this is just the beginning, y'all. So we are excited that we get to share this and debut it with you all this evening officially, right?
Officially.
But so much more to come. So much more to come. Super excited. So because it's our show, right? We got to play the whole thing, not just a snippet.
Not just a snippet. None of that.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. And thank you for enduring that with me, Karen. Because you didn't know I was going to do that tonight. I stayed throwing a monkey wrench in the system.
Listen,
but it's always good.
Here for it. So I'm glad that we were able to share that with you all, our viewer audience. So you see, you know, when we outside, it's for a purpose, right? Because it's not always for the accolades. We're going to always support those, you know, that have been day ones and all of the work that goes into these different shows. We understand how huge an undertaking it is. But listen, lives are being changed. When I tell you we had an entire experience, you know, I love it that Afate was able to show the production behind the production, right? Because y'all might think, oh, well, you know, somebody came in there and they know people were in there and the work allowed us to have an amazing time together, to share not just stages and opportunities and walking down the street with all of the, okay, ladies in green, yes, here we are. But there was a purpose behind it. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we were able to have that experience and not miss out on one thing. How about that?
Not one single thing. And yes, like you said, I hope it continues to open doors because it already has, Karen. Not for nothing. You made your NEPA runway debut because of that green outfit you had on.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm grateful for, again, the Interstar Trailblazer Award founder, the lovely Jacinth Headlam.
Yes.
Our sister, not only in the craft, but first and foremost, our sister in Christ.
Yes.
She is so inspiring. And I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to you publicly, Jacinth, for opening the doors for those of us who may not have the exposure that we may, have earned over the years doing the work that we've done in the community. It's because of you and creating this platform that you have ignited the strength and the power in so many of us to dream bold, dream big, and dream endless. And honey, you sparked the flame over here. When, my name was called in 2023 as a Trailblazer Award winner. I'm proud to say that I'm a Trailblazer alumni, and I'm doing everything that I can do to pull in as many people as possible to this community where opportunity is at their feet. And I'm also grateful for you, Jacinth, reaching out to connect with Afate Annam of Per Annam Media. You saw the gift. And I can say, having been friends with this gentleman for years, he is a gift. And conversation is second to none, y'all. So thank you so much, Jacinth. Thank you so much, Afate, again, for lending me your talents. I pitched you the vision and you just took it and ran with it. And I'm absolutely grateful that you, protected the innocent and what you decided to put together in the documentary, because so many of us were on it. Like, Lord, what he gets, because we was wilding that night. We were in full-on celebration mode, loving on one another and enjoying the moments throughout the night. So thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for everyone who jumped on that mic. Tribe, y'all already know what it is. We already got something on the let it cook. We cooking. It's the season to cook. All right, because we got everything we need in the melting pot to do what we need to move forward. So we finna cook. Okay, that's what we finna do. And as I mentioned, cooking, you know I'm hungry. I'm a little hungry. I stay needing a snack, a little protein, a little vegetable, a little piece of mango, something, fruit. But what I'm hungry for tonight is just a little bit of emotional and spiritual reflection, refreshing, and it's actually going to come from our own very own in-house certified master life coach. Yes, that's what she is. She's not only my best friend, but she is the voice of reason. I am talking about Coach Cash, as I allow her to switch her hat. Coach Cash of Twisted Threads LLC, coming at y'all this week with a reflection of purpose, the spiritual nourishment that we all need and require. So, Coach Cash, I got to ask you, my sister, take it away.
Awesome. Listen, y'all know I always come with the title, and today's title is Snatched Back. Snatched Back, right? Many of us are going through seasons. Maybe there are challenges. Maybe you got to the other side of a challenge. And I often say that we are the blueprint, but there's a reason why that is a statement that we continue to make, right? So tonight we spoke to somebody who the title of their book is Blueprint to Behavior. Well, the reason why I remind us that we are the blueprint is because there comes certain times in our lives, right, where we got to snatch it back. But I have found that many of us are elevating in a it's on the way mindset. And so I said snatched ED back because we got to shift in this season, right? We see all of the stuff that's going on in the world. And it's not that we're not paying attention, but we sure ain't worried about what we see, right? Because we've already elevated to the snatched back moment in our lives, right? We're snatching the integrity back. It's already snatched. We're working on snatching the financial stability back. It's already snatched, right? I say a statement, and it is the truth. I tell people everywhere I go, what line I tell my husband, I'm the rich man's wife, right? He may not always believe it because of the status of a bank account, but I promise you, I live my life in that mantra so that he understands it's not even about what you will do, but it's about the shift in your mindset when you speak the words and say, it's already snatched back. I'm not working on it. Our brain, we've heard over the years that our brain responds to the things that we speak. And a lot of us will say, well, I'm trying. And the brain doesn't really know what trying looks like, right? There's no picture for what trying is supposed to be. You're either doing it or you're not. And so I'm saying snatched back because you snatched back. You snatched your health back. You snatched your sanity back. You snatched your peace back. You snatched, right? All that craziness that's going on a job, give that back. Snatch back your peace. And then speaking those things as though they already have happened, right? Scripturally, it says, speak those things as though they were, not as though they are becoming, but that it's already snatched back. So y'all getting a little bit of Sunday school up in here too. Snatched back. This is my posture and my position for the rest of 2025. So if you're looking for me, I've been focused. I've been pursuing. I've been doing all of the things. And now I'm snatched. Now, some of y'all saw me snatched in that dress over the weekend too. Y'all saw me snatched in that green and white. I've been being snatched. And so now I'm taking that and encouraging you. Do the same in your everyday. Snatch back, change your mindset, and watch the world around you shift. You think that I'm playing with this? Try it at your house and watch how the shifts not only impacts your world, but every person that is connected to you. We snatched back. Keita, tilted. I'm throwing it right back at you. Snatch back.
Girl, I'm catching it and not snatching it because, you know, I was raised not to be rude in public, at least.
Yeah.
But once again, sister, thank you so much for that encouragement, and it just again solidifies that we stay on the same vibe, stay on the same frequency. Because if you only knew what I wrote down for tonight's Just Be conversation, this just lets you know that you all are tuned in to Unhinged Live. We are a vibe. We are here with the intention on making sure that you are lifetime fine, giving you information to feed you and help encourage your spirit, mind, body, and soul. So check it out. I got to give you the Just Be moment as we prepare to leave on this evening. And what I wrote down today was just be unrelenting in the pursuit of your dream. Listen, y'all got to see a cutesy little documentary that was shot by a dear friend on tonight. But what you don't know is the story behind some of this glory. Now, the word pursue was something that, of course, my best friend hit me with after a morning meditation and prayer from your girl. She came and the instruction was pursue, which encouraged me through so many seasons of the production and preparing and developing and producing process for Unhinged Live. Because in the middle of all of this, behind the scenes, you don't know the challenges, the financial challenges, the health challenges that arose that would try to stop me from doing. As Karen already iterated in her reflection of purpose, the body and the brain has no definition of try. It is either do or don't do. So no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, and no matter how many no's you receive, be intentional about the unrelenting pursuit of your dreams, because dreams manifest when you cultivate them. Dreams manifest when you go into the rooms where it might be a little bit uncomfortable for you to introduce yourself to a stranger. Try and reach out to the kindest one with the softest face and just say hello and see how that catapults you that much closer to your dream. Be intentional and unrelenting. So unrelenting means we never give up. We may slow down, but we keep dancing. They got the 1-2 step. They got the stanky leg. We got the we got what? If you want to take it back, we can do the cabbage patch. There's a new dance that these young folks is doing that I can't necessarily say would be good on my kneecap. I think it's a dubstep style of dance that comes out of Chi-Town, Chicago. But baby, keep on dancing, keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, dreams do come true. But you've got to be the verb required in the change you want to see. It requires action from you on your part. And here's the deal. Extend yourself grace and as you come out the starting gate, because everybody ain't Flojo. Okay. You are not the most optimally trained person, but what you have in your hand is the faith of a mustard seed. And if you understand the size of a mustard seed and the end result of its growth process, after it endures the storms of nature, after it ingests whatever mineral it needs to grow from the soil that it's planted in, baby, a mustard seed grows into such a gigantic, beautiful tree out in the wilderness, out in the forest, out in the green scenes, out there where they're planted. Listen, you could have never told me that we'd be sitting here tonight, November 11th, 2025 at 8:52 p.m. talking on a platform that I envisioned when I was a little girl of 11 years old. But here we are. No matter the storms of life, your girl never gave up. No matter the storms of life, your girl, Coach Cash, never gave up. We both became unrelenting because we became empowered by our confession of faith in God. And we actually began to believe we were everything that he said that we are. So here we are, possessing the extreme ability to just be, and to encourage you to be unrelenting in the pursuit of your dream. Blaze your own trail. It's not that hard. Because all you got to really do is just be your authentic self. It's your girl, Keita, sitting alongside my good girlfriend, Coach Cash, Karen Sims Harrell of Twisted Threads LLC. And Karen, again, I've got to say thank you for bringing in such an amazing guest on tonight. And I hope somebody's life was impacted by the information that was shared in the conversation. It's Unhinged Live. Hey, replay viewers, thank you for tuning in. And if you like what you've seen and heard here on the platform, go ahead and tell a friend. Share the broadcast. Go on over to the YouTube Nation and like and subscribe to every last one of our YouTube channels. We are Twisted Threads on YouTube. We are Tilted Halo TV on Unhinged. We are Save the Arts TV on Unhinged. And last but certainly never least, we are Unhinged Live on YouTube. Because I got a feeling, Karen, we may have to vacate these Facebook streets sooner than we think.
Well, we got a plan.
We already got a plan. Like we said, we are intentional about the pursuit of our dream.
Stay ready.
And we go in with them, all right, as we pursue. It's Unhinged Live. And look, Milo the cat just came in. You might hear him. He's messing with me. Like, where you at? Why you ain't petting me yet? So I think we got we're Unhinged Live. And until next week, it's a wrap. Until next time.
We out.
Peace. Oh, y'all can get this outro video.
Just to do her hand now, because she cares, y'all.
Fashion killer. Yeah, showed up, big vibe, showing up. New York, stand up, stand. Certified fashion killer, fashion killer. It's 7 p.m. Friday, my natural glorilla. Feel bossed up when I wake up. No heartbreak, just to make up. I'm in my duffel, time to get this cake up. Like a type of foundation can't make us. Stay on your own path, it's a one-way. Only U-turns get made on the runway. No talking fly unless the plane's on runways. I got big dreams to chase and never run away. If you got big dreams, chase them, never run away. Hey, back it up, back it up. Slide through, they start acting up. Walk, stop, pose, vogue. Eat your heart out, snack it up. Get your money, stack it up. Stack it up. Slow motion versus no motion. You still not moving fast enough. Certified fashion killer. Fashion killer. It's 7 p.m. Friday, my natural glorilla. Feel bossed up when I wake up. No heartbreak, just to make up. I'm in my duffel, time to get this cake up. Like a type of foundation can't make up. Tags get popped, they supposed to. Big bags when I shop, I could coach you. Moving silence, a boss, not boastful. Watch them raise up a glass when they toast you. Can you help me? I'm too drip right now to take a selfie. Catch the whole fit, my aura healthy. I'm not trying to get rich, let's be wealthy. Let's be wealthy. Back it up, back it up. Slide through, they start acting up. Walk, stop, pose, vogue. Eat your heart out, snack it up. Get your money, stack it up. Stack it up. Slow motion versus no motion. You still not moving fast enough. Certified fashion killer. Fashion killer. It's 7 p.m. Friday, my natural glorilla. Feel bossed up when I wake up. No heartbreak, just to make up. I'm in my duffel, time to get this cake up. Like a type of foundation can't make up. Like a type of foundation can't make up. Like a type of foundation can't make up. Fashion killer. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. Like a type of foundation can't make up. Like a type of foundation can't make up. She's just like you and me. Don't as she stands there